Welcome to the Goof and Goober Show, the podcast that brings you laughter, insight, and the quirkiest conversations. Join your hosts, Matthew and Regan, as they embark on a delightful journey through the realms of pop culture, humor, and everyday shenanigans. So, buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster of fun and entertainment. Let's dive into the world of laughs with Matthew and Regan on the Goof and the Goober Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you heard it here, you are here, and you heard it here. You're on the Goof and Goober Show. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Goof and Goober Show. We're glad you're listening. We're glad you're here, watching, wherever you're doing. I'm your host, Regan Dvorak. Thank you guys for listening yet again. And with me is none other than my wingman, the man I could not do this without. The man who some say he's got the almost best mustache around. Matthew Leathers. Matthew, how's it going?
What up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls?
Why would you do that laugh? Why would you do that laugh? I guess
just the feeling, just in the moment.
It felt right. It felt right at the moment. Okay. All right, let's calm it down here. We're starting off the episode here.
Sorry.
Guys, thank you for listening yet again. This is like my fourth time telling you, but I am very thankful for you if you are listening. And if you're trying to figure out where you can listen to this on or what platforms we are on, we're on all of them. We're on the Spotify, we're on the Apple Podcast, we're on the Google podcast thing. I don't know what they call it. Google Podcast, Podbean. If you want to follow us and get the latest updates, we are on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow us, like our content there. By the way, we gotta have a conversation with our marketing manager because I haven't really seen a whole lot of posts.
Yeah,
and I don't know how long. It's been kind of quiet. It's been kind of dead on our side, but that's okay. That's all right. You know,
extreme ownership. It's our fault. It's our fault for not staying on top of it.
That's true. Matthew has the extreme ownership, has taken that on. But guys, get here at 8:00 every Monday. We have the pre-show. We go on for about an hour, sometimes later because we're cool like that, and we just got stuff to talk about. Last week we talked about football. And this week we talked a little bit more about football. I think it'll be interesting because I think every pre-show we should do a recap of your last game. I think that was fun. I don't know. I like talking about football big time. Maybe that might be too much, or maybe we can recap because this week it's Monday currently, September 4th. But this is the big week. Football is back, baby. It is back.
We are back in business, boys.
Mm-hmm. It is back, and we are ready to rumble with first NFL game of the season on Thursday with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions. It's going to be a good game because this is a good game for Detroit to really prove themselves on who they are from last season, to kind of take that next step, show who they are, taking on one of the big dogs.
Big dogs right off the rip.
Right off the rip. And if you're also involved in fantasy football, I think we'll maybe do a little update on that. Matthew and I are big football fans. If you don't listen consistently, you don't know too much about us. We are big football guys. But yeah, Matthew, how was your week?
Last week was all right. Last week was meh. It was long. We practiced Monday through Friday. Or we practiced Monday through Thursday, and it was just a long week. It was just Thursday felt like Friday. Friday felt like Saturday. It was a long week. So I'm excited for this week to kind of speed up a little bit. Get to Saturday, get to the weekend quicker. We only have Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That's the only days I have to work. But it's only, it just gets the week going quicker. I think that was the biggest thing.
I mean, how
we
was...
didn't come out.
Oh, sorry.
We didn't come out with the dub on Saturday, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There are things that we saw a lot of good things, some bad things, and some things we're extremely hopeful for. And we're going to be a pretty dang good football team, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from the stats we were looking at against Hamlin, it looked like you guys were doing pretty well. I think all you have to really, you got a good QB. Wide receivers just need to kind of step it up in the catch game. Sound like your O-line's doing pretty well, and your running backs are killing it. And it seemed like also, I think we forgot to mention on the pre-show that your running backs were showing some depth or what is it? Versatility. They're running and catching, and they were. I think your main guy was running it really well, and he was one of the top receivers.
Yep.
On there, so that showed a lot. I'm gonna probably ask a bunch of questions to you about football, and maybe this is what we'll do every week. I'm your biggest fan, okay, and I'm like your news guy. I'm gonna ask the hard questions, the hard hitting questions that everybody wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so be there every week to hear the hard hitting questions on the pre-show on the Goof and Goober show. But today we are going back and talking. We're not going. Well, yeah, we are going back. Talking about Ashoka, episodes 1 through 3, because we're getting all caught up from the previous 2 weeks, and then tomorrow episode 4 is coming out. Big day. But before we get into that, Matthew wanted to do a little something, show us a little something. Right? Or you're giving me a look that...
Oh, yeah. I got a little something I can... something.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we talking about hauls this week?
Yeah, weekly hauls. Weekly hauls.
I got a couple.
Okay.
Let me grab them real quick.
Okay. Well, while Matthew grabs that real quick, I don't know how long this is going to take, but it is Labor Day today, and I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people who do labor. Thanks for your labor. Is that day meaning? What is the meaning of Labor Day? Labor Day is often considered the unofficial end of summer, but as the name suggests, the day is meant to celebrate American laborers. Thanks for laborers.
If you laborer, then I appreciate you for laboring.
Mm-hmm.
So
for the labor.
Last week, Regan did a little something for me.
Oh yeah.
He did a little searchy.
That's right. That's one of my hauls too, technically.
That is one of his hauls. And I guess we'll just cut to the chase. Regan found me a TV VCR combo.
Yeah, they call it a combo.
For 10 buckarooskies.
Oh yeah, that's a freaking deal though. That is a freaking deal.
Freaking deal. So I've been jumping into the VHS, watching some VHS movies.
That's right.
And so I got some good ones this week. Just to
you went and bought some VHSs?
I went and bought some VHSs at Goodwill.
I can't wait to see these.
So I got a couple.
I could give you some of mine.
So 2 of them you may know of, Hercules and Jack Frost. The other 2 are Mary-Kate and Ashley movies. They're for Kaylee. I've never been a huge fan of them.
I have some Mary-Kate and Ashley movies for you. I might give you some of my movies because I have some extras if you want.
Oh yeah, I will take. And then I got some other movies things that I had never seen before, but I was like, I'm gonna watch it on the
Ooh,
VHS.
The Hunt for
The
Red
Hunt
October.
for Red October.
Sean
We've
Connery.
got Schindler's List.
I don't think I've ever watched that.
Me either. It's Steven Spielberg movie. So
yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, I think it's like a classic. A lot of people love that, but I don't think I've ever watched it.
And then I got these bad boys.
Ooh.
They didn't have Return of the Jedi, but they had these two. So I'll take it for now.
Where did you find those? Were those on Facebook Marketplace?
Goodwill, baby.
Goodwill. Goodwill's a great
place. And then
place to
I watched this one the other day. I actually really like this movie. A Few Good Men. It's a
Bruce
courtroom
Willis.
lawyer. It's a courtroom lawyer show. Movie.
Interesting.
You wouldn't like it, but I like it.
Do you? Oh, go keep going. Then I'll ask
my last one and my best one. Still haven't watched it yet. Chisholm.
Ooh. Chisholm.
The movie Chisholm.
With John Wayne. Oh, man. He is going to love that. Oh.
Yep. It's a Western.
Did you send that to Chisholm?
I did not send it.
You got to.
I should.
That is hilarious. And you haven't watched it, though, right? You said that, right? You haven't watched it?
I have not watched it yet.
Oh boy.
I've never actually been a huge cowboy Western type of guy. No, but I saw it and I was like, this is funny. Yeah. So I might as well. I'm going to watch it, give it a shot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll like it. I did get two other things.
Oh.
They were at Goodwill as well.
Okay.
And this is a poster. This thing is
for $5.
For
$4.
$3.99.
Dang.
Yep.
Is that?
And then it's metal.
Metal. Okay.
And then.
Oh boy. What is it?
Oh.
God.
Oh. The Mandalorian.
Oh no.
For.
How much you get that bad boy for? $5. That one's for $5.
I couldn't pass it up.
Where are you gonna put that?
Probably above my door over there.
Who's gonna put that up for you?
I will. I don't have anybody who puts things up for me.
That is, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's a good haul, and I got a bunch more VHSs. Because I got
Can I get a table? And I put it out by the fire pit and put the VHS TV out there.
Well, the thing is, though, you have to get an extension cord long enough because you
have one.
Yeah. Where?
In my garage.
I looked in your garage.
It's 140 feet.
I don't think I ever saw that.
It's yellow.
Well, I didn't see that the other day when I was over there looking for an extension cord. Because what was I looking for an extension? A couple for the campfire. Campfire stuff. But no, Matthew, you were talking about some law stuff, law movie. That you're big into those types of law movies. Would you say so? Have you watched Suits?
I have started watching Suits. Yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Suits?
Yeah, I don't know. It's different. It's like it's not so much in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's not I don't know. It definitely has its involvement in it, but it's just more of the drama outside the courtroom and how the law firm maybe operates.
Right.
It doesn't quite as interest me.
Okay.
But A Few Good Men, this is them doing. I'll rephrase what I mean by courtroom stuff is that they go out, they do research.
Yeah.
They create create the story, or they create the proof, or they find the proof, and now they're in court and they're arguing the proof, essentially.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Zac Efron's portrayal of Ted Bundy. That movie. Very courtroom heavy. Going over the facts, going over like certain things that happened. Yeah.
Well, I
don't know. I always said if I wasn't in like, I mean, my mom even said she would pay for me to go to law school if I ever decided
really?
to.
I think you should do that, man. I think
I'd be really
should
good
do that. I think that you would love that. TBH.
I'd be very good at it.
I think you would be very good at it. TBH. And I think if you want to do it, you do it. But I think your main, I mean, this is just me going off the cuff and what I think. You know, it might not be true, but it's just kind of what I think.
Sure.
My main thing that I think you would love most is to be a coach and be a college football coach. Because that you're helping people and you're also trying to get people to be better. And I think that's a big one of your biggest callings. Not gonna lie.
Well, thank you.
And I think you'd be really great at that. I'm sorry.
It's not that, it's this.
Okay. We are now, what are we? Did you shave? Is that what you're trying to? Is that why you're showing me your chin right now and stroking yourself?
I just realized I had a bald spot there. That was all.
Well,
yeah, you got one too. It's bad.
Big old bald spots all over my friggin' face.
You need to shave. Bad.
I need to get a haircut. That's what I need to get, a freaking big old haircut. Quick question. This will have to do with some sports stuff because we love talking about sports and movies and pretty much pop culture. I mean, I think could you involve sports in pop culture? I think that you could say that.
Like, what is pop culture? I guess is the question.
That is a good question. Are you looking it up right now?
What is pop culture? Pop culture is generally recognized by members of a society as a set of practice, beliefs, artistic outputs, and objects that are dominant and prevalent in a society at a given point. Popular culture also encompasses the activities and feelings produced as a result of an interaction with dominant objects. With objects, I mean, football could be considered a pop culture thing.
That's true.
Sure, maybe. I mean, it's saying the cultural products, music, art, literature,
as well as fashion. Yeah. I mean, that's for sure. With Justin Jefferson, he has definitely helped create the pop culture, combining pop culture and sports. With the gritty, you could say, because nobody knew about the gritty until he basically. I mean, I didn't know about the gritty at least until he came in with the gritty. Which, by the way, if you don't know, this week we should be seeing a new gritty that was that will be coming out that Justin Jefferson will be doing. So exciting, really exciting stuff.
I cannot wait to see his new Gwitty.
Oh, I can't wait to see him
Gwitty. Gwitty was so cool, guys. That Gwitty. Oh my gosh, he's Gwittying all over the floor. He's Gwittying in the touchdowns.
Gwittying in the touchdown. Matthew, are you in any fantasy football leagues though this year?
I am not.
You're not?
I am not. I am not in any of them.
Have you've done in the past though, right?
I have done in the past.
And how many, I mean, were you consistently doing it every year or what?
Every year since about 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I didn't even know. I don't think I even knew about fantasy football until 2013, to be honest. Right? No, I might have known about it before that. I might have known about 2012 or 2011. Because I saw my brother was doing it, and I was really like, oh, this is really cool. Like,
it was a long time ago.
And
it was
now,
like right when I first got into high school. Maybe 2010, 2000. It was my first year in high school.
And now you are giving up a year. The first year.
I have played every year since 2009, every year.
Right.
I have decided to take a step back. I was in like probably 4 to 5 leagues a year. Sounds like someone I know right now.
I'm in 3, but not 4 or 5.
Well, normally it's like
I
4
was.
or 5.
That's a lot, though. 4 or 5 leagues is a lot, though.
It is a lot. It is.
I feel like that's just, I don't know.
But I would just get so addicted to it.
You do. It is just, it does consume you a lot. Because I do, like at work, I'll sit and just look at my roster. I'm like, okay, where can I get better? Where are my weaknesses? Where can I get better? Where do I need help? And then I'll scan the waiver wire and try to find somebody good. But quick question on fantasy football. What one player are you most excited for? I guess if you were playing fantasy football.
If I were to go in and say, hey, this would be my first round pick, who I would want?
I guess so, yeah. I guess, well, if you could, yeah. If there's one player you're most excited for in the NFL, who would it be?
The one I'm most excited for?
Yeah,
that's I guess you could say
it is. It's a loaded. I'm not trying to do a got ya.
After watching, no, I know. It's a loaded question though, because so I watched Hard Knocks. I've been watching Hard Knocks, the Jets.
Oh yeah.
And I've really started to really like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's in the way he plays, and I'm really excited to see how he navigates this year with a completely different offense, a completely different team who actually has players. And see what he can do.
Defense and
they got a good defense.
I mean,
offense is really good. Now they got Dalvin Cook.
But their O-line, I guess, I don't know too much about the Jets to know about their O-line and where if that's a struggle for them or not.
I think that's where Aaron Rodgers comes into play. Is like he's used to playing with bad offensive line, so I mean he's going to be able to navigate.
At Green Bay, he had one of the top O-lines.
The last 2 years, he has had the worst, one of the worst offensive lines.
The top O-line player, not like the O-line in general, but he's always.
But I'm talking like overall O-line, like just an overall O-line. He's had like the worst O-line in the last 2 years.
Maybe
you could go and look at the rankings. He's had some of the worst offensive linemen in the past couple of years. David Bakhtiari's he was injured a lot these past 2 years. He wasn't playing very much. I personally, my big thing is if
what?
Sorry, I was just looking at something.
What are you looking at?
There was I was just looking at some old stats from 2009. Matt Schaub played for the Houston Texans. Okay, yeah. I was trying to remember who he was. Yeah, but if you go and look to see what type of offensive line the Packers had the past couple of years, they haven't had a very good offensive line. So he's just kind of been under duress. Now to see him, hey, he's got a pretty decent team around him. What can he do with it? I'm really excited about that. And everybody's talking about how, he's on the downhill of his career, which sure, from an age perspective, I think so. But like you go and watch, even just last year, he had nobody, but he was still making plays, right? Like he was still making very, very good throws. You go and watch Hard Knocks, and you're like, okay, this guy can actually do something.
I mean, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm really excited just to see what he does, not from a fantasy standpoint, but just from an overall perspective. If I'm picking a player to say, hey, let's see what he could do from a fantasy standpoint, I'm thinking Tony Pollard. Tony
really?
Pollard, he was back up to Ezekiel Elliott. They split reps. Now he's kind of the guy. Now that they got Deuce Vaughn there, we don't know what kind of role he'll play. But Tony Pollard, as of right now, is the guy. So what can he do now that he is the one guy? Like what kind of points can he produce? Because last year, man, that guy was, I mean, he was popping off.
Right.
He was popping off a lot. So now what can he do without Zeke? Right. Now he's the guy. Can he do and perform the same way? I don't know.
Right. And Zeke wasn't doing as much damage as Pollard was doing last season.
He was doing more of the short yard stuff, like the 3rd and shorts, the 2nd and shorts, the 4th and ones, the goal line stuff. But Tony Pollard was really kind of getting the big yards. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, to go off, I have a article, like the very first article I clicked on, worst O-line in NFL 2022. It says it ranks them, all 32 teams, Eagles being the number one. And I think everyone would agree.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles have one of the best O-lines. And that, I think, is also why Jalen Hurts is probably so good, because he's got the best O-line. But they ranked the Green Bay Packers. You want to take a guess? What would you say?
15th.
15th? No. 15th is actually Washington Commanders. They rank Green Bay Packers as number 5.
At number 5 last year? 2022?
Yes, in 2022.
Which
this is PFF.com.
What's it? What?
PFF.com. For the offensive line ahead of the 2022. A lot of holes. Oh, wait. This was in June of 13th of 2022. Not the actually. I mean, this was before the 2022.
I mean, this was PFF. I just clicked on it. They're number 8. Is that 2023? Yeah, they're 2023. They're rank 8.
In 2022, also, again, on January 11th of 2023, they ranked the Green Bay Packers as number 3. Ahead of...
Let's look at the final offensive line
Philadelphia Eagles and Baltimore Ravens. That's what I'm seeing. Let me see the 2023 NFL.
David Bakhtiari didn't even... Oh, that's week 18.
Yeah, he
I want to see overall, not week 18. Holy.
2023 offensive line rankings, obviously with the Eagles.
Eagles by far is going to be across the board.
This is June 13th. Yeah, I mean, there's no question on that. No question. For 2023, though, Green Bay is ranked number 8 on PFF. And then where's Jets ranked? Curious. 32 is Tennessee Titans.
These are projected. I want to know what the rankings were, the final rankings. Holy.
I mean, I told you what they were at the end of 2022 for PFF, from PFF.
Yeah, but there's no way the Green Bay Packers offensive line was better than Dallas Cowboys.
Well, they're ranking New York Jets as 23 for 2023.
I wonder if it has to do with, let's look, sacks allowed. Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Sacks allowed 30. Yeah, sacks allowed 33. They were 12th. They're looking at negative runs. I'm looking at from a QB to quarterback standpoint. I could care less about the run. I'm talking about the pass offense. That's what I'm talking about. Because we were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I agree. You should look at that.
From the pass, like they're average. They're 12th. Sacks allowed, 12th. But if you go back and watch the games, for Green Bay Packers,
yep,
it's only because Aaron Rodgers' feet that they saved the O-line. That's why I told you,
Aaron Rodgers' feet?
His feet and his ability to get out of the pocket. Which saves them a lot. And him being able to get the ball out quick.
Well, yeah, I think he's a great quarterback, and that's what Jordan Love's got a lot to prove this season, trying to fill in the shoes of Aaron Rodgers, which he'll never do, but he's just going to have to figure it out. And I think Aaron Rodgers is a great athlete, and I am curious to see what he'll do with the Jets this season. Especially since they're ranking. They ranked the Jets O-line as number 23 overall. How many
23
sacks?
Overall?
Yeah, PFF ranked 23 for for projected for 2023.
So they're ranked number 5 last year, number 3, 23 overall.
They were ranked number 5. The Jets were?
Oh, Jets. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh.
I thought you said the Packers.
No, I was talking about the Jets. Yeah, I'm curious to see, though, how that'll happen, because I think that the first preseason that he played in, which was last week, he looked good. I mean, he scored, but there were a couple times where he kind of he had to scramble, and he had to save himself there with some kind of like he tripped over some guy, or he was some QB hurries. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be a interesting season this year. Yeah, I'm excited. But we're going to get into Ahsoka now. The main event, kind of getting right into it. We missed last week talking about episode 1 and 2, but now we get to talk about episode 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to group episode 1 and 2 together, since Disney had already grouped those together, and they're part 1s and part 3s. So I'm just going to do that. It's my show. I do whatever the heck I want. Okay?
I do what I want, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I do what I freaking want.
So we get episode 1, part 1, Master and Apprentice, and then part 2, Toil and Trouble. Oh, and then part 3. I guess we could actually, you know what? We could probably, I don't know, because they don't even
talk about however you want.
We could group them all 3 together, but I don't know if you could. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
We'll just figure it out.
We'll figure it out. So we are left with Ahsoka. Let me give the synopsis here of kind of just what's going on. There's a lot going on. If you don't watch Star Wars or haven't really, you might have just watched the Star Wars movies, but didn't really watch any of the animated stuff, or maybe The Mandalorian. There's a lot going on in this whole series. Matt, you and I had to watch a 30-minute YouTube video of kind of a recap of what's going on to kind of get us all caught up, because we didn't really watch a whole lot of I didn't really watch a whole lot of the Rebels and other things. I
might be, though, soon.
Yeah, well, after watching that, we could talk about the previous. So let's do that. Let's talk about everything that's happened up to Ahsoka, because there was so much that has happened that I had no idea, and that they were connecting everything together to kind of just the hyperlinking from series to movies was I think incredible if you kind of watch this recap of everything that's going on in Star Wars. And it just made me like, oh, I really want to watch this, because I had no idea about this hyperspace theory that, or yeah, I think it's a theory, but I mean, they talk about it in the TV shows Rebels or something like that, about when people are going through hyperspace, there's a connection with hyperspace and the Force. And if you watch The Mandalorian with those sea creatures type whale things, though they have talked a lot about those guys actually being the first, and how people were like Jedis would use them and had connections with them through the Force. I don't know, Matthew. My question, I guess, with you, and I want to know what you have to say about this, is just like your overall thoughts on this, everything that's been up, that has came up to this point. I guess everything that happened in that 30-minute video that you sent me. Cause like, I don't know, like there's so much.
There is a lot. What man, I don't even know where to begin. Well,
right.
First things first. So we come to find out that animals are like a thing with Jedi now.
Yeah.
like these wolf spirit animal things.
Mm-hmm.
Which was kind of like strange to me, because I'm just like, I don't know if we never really had that before. Like, it just kind of different, I guess. Actually, now that I think about it, Rebels has been out for a while, so I just missed it. But I think one of the biggest things that we find is that we see that Ahsoka, being Anakin's Padawan, she then leaves the Jedi Order that was there, basically just quits, essentially, back in the Clone Wars. And then we get to Rebels, and now she's got her own Padawan in, what's her name? She's in the show.
Sabine
Wren. Sabine Wren. Sabine Wren is now her Padawan, and then Sabine Wren basically left after this guy named Ezra Bridger, who's like a really big character in Rebels, essentially dies. Right, yep. He ends up getting killed during a war versus Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's like this big. I mean, he's like one of the best war chief people, commanders out there. He kind of just wins. He wins wars. He knows how to win. He's very good at winning. And so that's kind of what we got up until that point. And then in Ahsoka, it just picks up right where they said Rebels was, essentially.
Right.
That's what happened.
Right.
Not exactly right after, but pretty close after, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and this is they're bringing things in also, like different characters. If you play any of these Star Wars games, like The Last Jedi, I think it is, with I think that's what it's called. No, that's not.
What are you talking about?
One of the what is
blonde
it?
hair lady?
No, well, no, it's Jedi Survivor, or Fallen Order, Jedi, or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the new ones. But if you look at the Jedi, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order cover, what's the one of the Siths is on there from this. There's 3 Siths that we follow and basically are learning more about, but one of them is kind of like a robot type person, whatever, and you get to learn more about that person in well, I don't know if they have the same lightsaber. So I don't know.
Like I would say they're probably the same. I don't know.
But the thing is, if when playing that game, if you watch it, it's actually that's a woman in there. So in Ahsoka,
a male one.
In Ahsoka, though, I think it's a robot, isn't it? I don't know. We don't know too much about this type of. I don't even know what Jedi, because I don't think we have. Do we have a name for this Jedi that's basically like wearing a? He looks like a dark, one of the Dark Knights. He looks like a knight from medieval. That's what he looks like.
He does.
Like he.
Dude! If it turns out to be that girl and we get a freaking Cal Kestis moment, oh my gosh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that's where I think they're going to, and probably going to make a movie off of the video game, because the video game was very popular and it's a really good freaking video game, no doubt. And I'm hoping that he gets an orange lightsaber. I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be sweet.
But anyways, so yeah, there's so much to just talk about before, and I don't think we can there's so much to talk about. I mean, you can talk about the Fallen Order.
The video link. We'll drop the video link in the description.
Yeah.
And then you guys can go watch it. It's 30 minutes, but it's all about Rebels.
And it's fast, though. You really have he talks fast. I was trying to have my wife watch it, and she's like, I can't keep up with this guy. And it was really fast.
She was struggling.
It was a little struggle there. I was like, well, yeah, if you don't watch Star Wars, you don't know. But we're fallen here. We're left kind of after not Bad Batch. What was it?
Rebels.
It was Rebels. We're left there, and after the fall of the Galactic Empire, former Jedi Knight Ashoka Tano, whatever you
Ahsoka
Tano. The English language sucks. Investigates an emerging threat to a vulnerable galaxy. We find out in episode 1 and 2 about the witches, basically, and that is also leading up to Jedi the Fallen Order, because there's a bunch of witches. You learn about witches in the Fallen Order, and those types of force wielders or people. I don't know if you could I don't know too much about the witches to be like, oh, they can wield the force. I'm not like a super big expert into Star Wars, but last time we saw Ahsoka, this Ahsoka character was a Mandalorian. What season was she in? Season 2?
Season 3.
Season 3.
And 3 episode 1 or 2.
Yeah, and she was searching for this general. What's her name? This general lady. And she catches her.
Pull her up.
And she was wielding the dark saber. And she was able to, and that's when I think the Mandalorian gets the dark saber.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Morgan Elsbeth. She didn't have. She had the dark saber.
She did not have the dark saber. No, she had. She had the spear. She had the metal spear at the beginning. I can't remember what it's called.
That's okay. Yeah, and that's how the Mandalorian got that spear. That's right.
Yep,
I remember that. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Morgan Elsbeth. And so she was at the very beginning. Episode 1 is basically the Siths, basically the getting aboard a rebel ship and setting her free, and then her wanting to take down and find Ahsoka and punish her for the crimes she's done. But Ahsoka is actually searching for something that they're searching for, and it was this little ball. This little ball thing. And, I completely forgot about that because the last 2 episodes, they kind of disregard that. Because, not necessarily because the main premise of this whole series is to find Thrain. And like Matthew talked about before, it's Thrain is
to find who?
Thrawn, whatever his name is. Thrane, isn't it?
Nope. ThrAWN.
Thrawn.
Freaking hate. They're trying to find Thrain, guys. They're trying to find Thrain.
I freaking hate this. The names they give these people: Thrawn, Thrain, Thrawn.
How do you say dragon?
Dragon. Yeah.
Dragon, these nuts across your face. God.
I freaking hate you, dude. Freaking hate you.
Got him. No, you're good. Go ahead. Sorry.
I freaking hate you. So Thrawn is like the big bad guy in here. I mean, did you know about Thrawn before this, Matt, or not?
Yeah. So I read the oh gosh, I need to pull out my books. They're downstairs. I think it's
Oh yeah, that's right.
Shadows of the Empire book, I think. I don't remember what the book was. But yeah, it basically was talking about Thrawn, and I knew about him, and I knew that he was like this general who's like a freaking baller. So I knew about him when they brought up Thrawn back in Mandalorian. I was like, oh shoot, this guy's gonna be massive,
bad boy,
massive to the story. So yeah, he's kind of a dude, but he does it in a way that's like, in the video it tells you, he doesn't do it by like sheer power. He does it by, I mean, he knows these people. He knows, like, he gets to know the people he's about to fight, the ins and outs of them. He just dives deeper than any other Grand Admiral ever. So that's what makes him scary. I'm excited to see it, though.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he's like if they find him. I don't know, because he's like a blue guy. I don't know if they're going to make him blue, because apparently from Rebels, he was a blue guy.
He's a Wookiee.
He's not a Wookiee, is he?
No.
He's an alien Imperial officer with striking blue skin, red eyes, and an angular face. Thrawn was well known as a brilliant and ruthless strategist. And from what our videos talked about him, is that he could figure out a whole like a culture, like their battle strategies or whatever, by just looking at their art. And that would be interesting. Who do we know who is going to be playing Thrawn?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Who will be playing Thrawn in Ahsoka? Lars Mikkelsen.
Who the heck is Lars Mikkelsen?
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. Okay, I could see it. Yeah, for sure.
Playing. Well, I'll see who he is, but
I hear voices in my head. They comfort me. They understand.
That'll
they
be interesting.
Talk to me.
It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see also. These three three when I'm talking about the not Jedis, but the Siths, and what they're going to bring to the table. Because the main Sith that's kind of the leader or the Sith Lord is Balon Skull, and I'm curious to see where his backstory is, and these other two, and how he found them, and where he's come from, because we're also going to probably be seeing some flashbacks here with Anakin, Ahsoka's master, or the one that trained her, and I'm curious to see if we're gonna have maybe a little bit of an overlay of Balin and Anakin, and where those guys line up. Because I don't know where he's from or where he came from. I mean, right when I look up Wikipedia and look him up, Balin Skull was a human male born during the era of the Galactic Republic. As a Force-sensitive, Skull was at some point brought into the Jedi Order, where he eventually rose to the rank of Jedi Knight. During his time in the Order, he learned of Puridia. He believed it to be old stories and fairy tales. I don't know anything about that, but I think that we're probably going to hear a little bit or see more of his background in all of this and who he is, as well as probably a big
rest
old
in
fight.
peace, Ray Stevenson. By the way,
Ray Stevenson.
You hear about that? The guy who plays Balin Skull. He died.
Really?
He died in May. Yep. He also played in Thor.
Oh yeah, yeah. How old is he?
Punisher Warzone.
Yeah, he was. He was the bad guy
in Punisher.
I didn't know he died.
Have you seen the Punisher?
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good movie. He plays Punisher in that. In the 2008 one, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's a good one.
I've never seen it.
Dude, it's a good one. I didn't know that. It's a good movie. He was in Dexter, Book of Eli. Dude, you gotta watch it.
It's got a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're talking about.
That's a good movie.
It's a
freaking great movie.
Speaking of the freaking
actually, it's the other. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Oh baby, that is so beautiful.
Don't be like your brother. That? Don't be like Trevor.
I'm gonna wait. Hold on. Go ahead.
If you guys didn't watch last week's episode, this would make no sense. We had Trevor on. It was probably one of the worst episodes we had last week, and Trevor would just bring random objects that he had.
Not because of the content, just because he's
excited about it, and I get it. But he just would stand there and hold it in front of him, and I'd be like, Trevor, I don't know. I didn't want to say anything, so I just let him do his thing.
Let him do his thing, man.
Yeah, let him do it. But yeah, I mean, what do you think of these three Siths, Matthew? What I guess
I'm really excited. Actually, I'm really freaking excited. When they came in episode 1,
yep.
Did we do a spoiler warning or no?
I guess we've already kind of spoiled a lot of things already.
You're cutting out.
We already did a lot of spoilers already.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry guys, you got spoiled. Episode 1, they come in and basically kill these people. They pose as Jedis, and then they're like, "Wait, we're not Jedis." And then they light up their red sabers. They kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had this in a long time, but I think I could speak for all of us is that these Sith are a bit scarier, a bit more. We don't know what they can do, right? Who's behind them? Who's leading this charge? Like, for an example, when we watched Obi-Wan and we saw that Obi-Wan killed that guy first episode, we're like, whatever. We're not really worried about it. This one, we're just like, oh, these guys got a little something under their sleeve. And they actually look like Sith.
Yeah.
So I think out of all of the Sith that we've seen in these TV shows, in the previous new, even with what's his nuts, what's his face, Adam Driver's Sith performance.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't scared. Essentially, we weren't like, we didn't have any sort of anxiety towards it. He was just kind of a goofball. These guys seem a lot more serious, and I feel like this show has a lot more serious effect than even The Mandalorian. I think personally, I think it's going to pull us into a direction that, I'm ready. I'm ready to hop on board. Essentially,
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm ready to hop on board.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I love this Shin Hati. I don't know how you Shin Hati. Her character, or not her, but that's the character she plays. It's Ivana Sakono. Why do people have the weirdest last names? I mean, I guess I have a weird last name, but her character looks. I mean, they all look scary and they all look legit, and I love these Siths.
She looks like she's been through something,
right? And I love the look that they're trying to go with these Siths too. This kind of medieval type look to them that is, it's just this scary look, and I love it. It's giving me this like new Star Wars vibe that I'm all on board with. And I'm curious to see, if there's going to be maybe more type of like more Jedis, because I mean we already have what's her face going to be a Jedi, Sabine Wren going to be a Jedi, and she's in training, but we also have Jacine Syndulla, the Ezra's and Hera Syndulla son, and they were already talking in this latest episode that he was going to be a Jedi. And I'm curious to see, I mean, as they start building up the Jedis, basically this whole new Jedi Council or whatever. I'm curious to see how that's going to go, because technically right now I think they're really the only 3 Jedis roaming the galaxy. Well, they got Anakin.
You're cutting out pretty bad.
Or, I mean, Luke. My bad.
Like, really bad.
Luke Skywalker, and but I'm just curious to see what they're going to be going with in this next phase, because I think they're going to be pushing towards what's his name? I always forget.
They're bringing back Ezra Bridger for sure. There's no way he's dead.
Oh no, yeah, they talked about it in this episode about they're hinting that he's still alive, even though you're told from Rebels is that he died or whatever. But he'll come back. And do you think they'll keep going with this story, or they're going to end the story in this season?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
I would like here's what my my interpretation is of the story and what I think could happen. I think they bring back Ezra Bridger and they can make an Ahsoka season 2. I think that's something you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Or they do a live action Rebels, right? I think that's something they probably would do. Or a different variation of it, right? But I definitely think at the end of this episode, we're gonna see Ezra Bridger come back. I think Ahsoka is gonna have to make a sacrifice. She's gonna have to make a sacrifice. She's dead. I think she's gonna be dead at the end of the season. I think that's gonna be what's called for, because right now it's kind of pulling the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon type of feel. And that's what I mean by that is we've got the Master, we've got the Padawan, right? The Master dies, the Padawan takes over, right? I think that's going to turn into something like that at the end of this series, with her and Sabine Wren. That's what I think. I don't know. I think it would be a good way to end Ahsoka if they were going to do it in one season. But I think they could go for a couple more seasons. How many seasons? Let's see what Google says.
Oh gosh.
Number of seasons. There's only one There's only going to be one season. So that answers your question. How many episodes?
There are 8.
8 episodes.
Yeah.
There's a lot you could do with 8. There's still 5 more episodes left. There's 5 weeks of this. I don't know, man. This is going to be so tough. I think Ahsoka dies, man, because in this, I mean, we're getting a ton of Ahsoka action right now. Like episode 1, we see Ahsoka like right off the rip, right after the Sith come in and kill a bunch of people. We get a scene where we see Ahsoka basically just freaking dine and dash with robots, right? Then we go into later in the episode, we see Sabine Wren going in and fighting Shin Hati. Got a freaking gnat in my face, dude. It's freaking annoying. I hate it.
That is so freaking annoying.
Got a gnat. So we see Sabine Wren go in action versus Shin Hati. Then the next episode, we see Ahsoka going back into action. Third episode, we see her go back into action. We're getting what we want in terms of Jedi fights, Jedi fight sequences. We're getting the ship action. We're seeing everything we want. And I think at the end, it's going to go up high, right? She's going to build. She's going to help Sabine Wren figure her powers out, or figure out how to use the Force. She's going to train her to be the Padawan. They're going to go find Ezra Bridger. They're going to go find Thrawn. Something's going to happen. Ahsoka's going to end it by taking the life that she should have given instead of Ezra at the end of Rebels. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think...
I'm spitballing here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But I think they're going to go trying to push... I'm going to keep going with this whole, Cal going to go they're trying to push, I think, more towards Cal. And I think that's going to be the next, I don't know. I think, I'm thinking in my mind, I mean, going with this and seeing I'm thinking the person is probably the Hu Yang, which is oh wait, no, that's not them. That's the robot that trains people. But I don't know, the robot type Black Knight Sith person. I think it's a woman, and that's going to be pushed towards Cal Kestis from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I think they're going to try to make a story out of that and see how that works out for them.
I just want somebody to die that's important.
Finally, yeah, seriously. I mean,
that's what I want.
Yeah, I think as well over the last few years, even this year, we've saw that video games can make a great movie or storyline, and that's why I think they'll be pushing more towards this whole Kestis moment, and they might be that might be where they're shifting their focus right now. But I think I don't know too, because they're also going to be, they're focusing a lot, or not a little bit, they're focusing a lot on the training of Sabine, and Ahsoka training her and trying to get her to become a Jedi Knight. But I think she could die in this, actually.
Sabine,
because we saw her fight, and she wasn't that good.
She could.
She could be the one that dies.
Kind of. I don't know. They already kind of fake killed her off at the end of the first episode by getting her stabbed.
Then I don't know.
I think you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is that it's an option. Like it definitely could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. But you're right on that too. Is that they did kill her off. Kind of kill her off in the first episode, but then but it was a 2-parter, so they already were they already were sending out a second episode, so you would already know right away that she actually didn't die. But you're right that they technically did kill her off in the first episode, or try to, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Matthew, so far, we talked a lot, and we've been over, all over the place with Star Wars. And there's so much to talk about with Star Wars, because the more I watch different Star Wars movies, what are we doing here?
He looks like the freaking Black Knight, dude.
Yeah,
you were right.
Yeah, he freaking looks like a Black Knight. I think
it's a guy.
Think so?
There's no boobs.
What?
There it is. Huh. No boobs.
No boobs.
Not a girl.
Not a girl. So true.
Like, that's pretty dang sweet, actually. He's
that character right there is probably the coolest character. I don't know. I would say Balin also looks BA. If you, yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
you're right. They kind of have like a medieval, like Lord of the Rings-esque look.
I love that though. I freaking love that look.
Oh yeah.
And
what I find cool personally, in this show, look at the technology that they have compared to previous Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at that. They've never had that before in Star Wars. Nothing of this nature where they're projecting all.
The whole galaxy and beyond the galaxy, though, is what they're projecting now.
In episode 3, maybe? In episode 3, where they bring up Obi-Wan asks Yoda, if I were to find a place that is non-existent or whatever, and he pulls up the map, but this is like beyond that scope, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like that they also are bringing, they have this old feel to, the old feel, where we left off, where I guess they're trying to keep in the technology that they were left with from basically episodes 7 or 4? 4, 5, and 6. Those types of the types of gear they would wear like the rebels and everyone like that, because they got the little badges with the 5 dots on it, and I don't know.
I did see a meme though. I did see a meme. I was gonna ask your thoughts on this. The first 2 episodes we see 57 minutes, 44 minutes, and then 37 minutes. And someone said a meme of at this rate, when we get to episode 8, we'll be at like 10 minutes an episode.
Yeah,
because they keep dropping minutes.
That's literally what happened with what TV show that we just watched from
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
it's literally what happened, and I hated it. And if they do this is going to be the worst, because it's just it seems like they're just trying to get as much stuff out as they can, but not put a whole lot of time into it. And
Regan, what's your rating of this first 3 episodes?
So far, out of 5, I'd probably give it let me give context in this, because I think I should give 2 ratings. If I came in here not knowing anything about Star Wars and watching this, I probably would give this a 3.5, 3.2. Just because I wouldn't really know exactly what's going on or who a lot of these characters are. But I would say, like, I still don't know who Baylan Skoll is, or Morgan Elsbeth or Shin Hati, or the Black Knight Sith. But I think those guys are sick no matter what. But if knowing now what I know about the previous episode or previous series and movies, basically, I mean, I've seen all the movies, but the series, I give this a 4.2, 4.5. I think a lot of this is just fantastic. So far, these first 3 episodes are great. I am excited. Yeah. I really want to. I can't wait for tomorrow to see what's going to happen. Within this whole, I mean, we're halfway through the series technically, but tomorrow will be, and
we will be halfway through the series already.
Yeah, which seems
what the heck?
Yeah, it was fast. Yeah, but I'm excited to see. I mean, like I said, I'm excited to see where they're going to take this, and I hope they go in the route with Cal, because I love that series, and I think a lot of people love that series too, and I think it would show a lot. They'd get probably a lot of people to come back to Star Wars with Cal. So yeah,
they'd get all the people who likes the video game.
Yeah, for sure. And that video game was popular so much that they made a second one.
Yep.
But I mean, what would you rank it?
I was actually gonna say almost exactly the same thing. I give it. I'd be a little bit. I probably would even be a little bit more harsh if you don't know some of these characters or you don't watch that video beforehand. I'm probably saying like a 2, because I would be just so lost. I would be so lost if I didn't know like who Ezra Bridger was, why they're talking about Ezra Bridger, or Thrawn, or Sabine Wren, or Mon Mothma. Like any of those people, like I'd be like, oh well, I don't know who they are, and I have no clue what their role is in this whole thing.
Right.
So I'd give it a 2 in that regard. In terms of after watching it, I'm giving it a 4.5. 4.5, 4.6. It took me a little bit to watch the 3 episodes because I was dealing with football. Right. But once I finally sat down and watched it, I was like, oh shoot, this is really good. This is like top tier Star Wars. Now there is a little bit of a, what's the word? Little Captain Marvel-y feeling where Ahsoka's just kind of like, she kind of just acts like she's the best about everything, which I'm just like, you don't really got to do got to do too much about that. But I guess if she's a Jedi Master, she just doesn't, how do I say it? She doesn't seem as humble as you would expect for a Jedi Master.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but that's where she's also an outcast Jedi Master. Like, she's not like every Jedi Master that has become. So I think that's where I'm a little bit skewed. But 4.5 for sure. I think what this is giving us is it's giving us the lightsaber battles that we want.
Right.
It doesn't stand up to, Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, or Return of the King, or...
Well, what did you think of that?
Did I say Return of the King?
What did you think about that lightsaber battle at the what's her face?
Sabine Wren?
Ahsoka with the basically doing a battle in outer space against all these spaceships.
I thought that was a little bit different.
Yeah.
I didn't like that as much. I thought that was a little, what? Like, come on. Like, that's not realistic, in my opinion. Yeah. But I think they're trying to spice it up a little bit. I mean, obviously, Ahsoka's I mean, she learned from Anakin, right? Anakin was her master, her Jedi master. So, like, I mean, she has some of that edginess that I feel like Anakin probably would have taken. So I'm okay with it, but it was kind of awkward. What I did like, though, I really liked at the beginning, the first episode where we got to see Sabine Wren pick up a lightsaber and go after Shaheen Hadi or whatever her name is,
right?
Shin Hadi. And get a little battle there because when I first watched it, I didn't know she was a Jedi. I didn't know that she was being trained by her. So I was like, where the frick did she get this lightsaber? And then come to find out she's actually Mandalorian. So
yeah,
I thought that was super cool because I thought when we were watching Mandalorian, I was like, oh my gosh, Grogu's going to be the first Mandalorian Jedi. Nope. I don't know if she's the first one, but she's obviously a Mandalorian Jedi.
I mean, obviously, but like, she's not necessarily like a true Mandalorian. She's, I mean, I guess she's one of the.
So is a Mando.
Yeah, true. But she takes off her helmet and reveals her face. So in some ways, she's well,
you know what they said in the Mandalorian TV series. All traditions die.
Traditions, everything. Everybody
traditions
knows that.
Die.
Yeah. Well.
I'm curious. I really want to see. I'm all about Spider-Man episode 1 where he got his powers, or I'm all about like them introducing a new character, building him up, letting us see them fail and then exceed, and I like those types of stories. Mm-hmm. So I think this will be a good one.
Do you think like if the episodes get shorter, if that happens, just in general, would you think you're gonna like it or dislike it?
I mean, I've said it ever since episode 1 of this freaking podcast. Probably, I probably said it on the. I mean, I'm a context. Mm-hmm. I mean, context is everything to me. So if you're gonna make it shorter, explain why certain things are happening. Right? Like, don't just introduce something and then it'd be like, oh, well, we're expected to know. And maybe that's just maybe a childish thing for me. I don't know. But like, I always like to see, okay, who is this Sabine Wren? What's the context to this person, right? The context was that she was in Rebels, right? But their expectation is that hopefully people would watch Rebels beforehand. So we didn't need that context, right? But I mean, I think context is everything, and being able to explain the story as you go. If the more you cut out, the less time you have on the episode, the less that you can tell of the story. Like if you start, I mean, let's take episode 3 for an example. They don't start the episode until like 2 minutes. They don't start the episode, until 2 minutes. And then they stop the episode at 31 minutes. So there's, 6 minutes there at the end. And then there's 2 minutes that's 8 minutes. That means episode 3 was a 29-minute episode. You could go watch 2.5 Men in 29 minutes. Go watch 2.5 Men. This is like if you're on TV, this is the type of episode you have. What I'd like is the Walking Dead episodes, right? The Walking Dead episodes are like 45 minutes plus.
Yeah, I like those too. I think the longer the better for me.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a mini movie every time,
shoot, I love that.
By all means. Heck yeah. You come out with one episode a week. You can come up with that.
But that means more context too.
More context, more content. That means you have to slow down on your content creation overall for the year, so that way you can actually build a good story, because all you're doing is you're setting people up for episodes with a lot of content, with a lot of juiciness, and then you're taking away the juiciness, right? Like episode 1, 57 minutes. Episode 2, 44 minutes. You're taking away 13 minutes of content. 13 minutes of content from episode 1 and episode 2, and then you add 8 minutes, that's 21 minutes. That's an extra episode, essentially. Like, that's an extra half an episode. And you do that, imagine you do that with, episode 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You take 13 minutes on average, multiply that times 4, that's 52 minutes extra. That's a whole nother episode.
Right.
More content, more context, more. I don't think any Star Wars fan wouldn't mind a little more action, or connecting previous stories, or adding in a filler to talk about Ezra Bridger and who he was, what he's about, right? Like, I don't think any one of us would be upset about that.
No, I don't think anyone would ever be upset about getting more content.
Yeah.
All right. Am I right, boys?
But like, well thought out content is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, you just
like
don't.
More. They're already producing as we've talked about in the past, way too much content. Like, we already know they're doing that. But what we need is, we need more content, but like better content, essentially, right? Like, you extend another episode here for Star Wars, right? You produce a little bit more. Slow down on other things. If it takes an extra 3 or 4 months because you add an extra episode to Ahsoka, do it. Why not? Why hinder yourself there? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think you're right. I think, I agree with you. I don't know. But that'll do it. We've been going off for probably hour 20 right now. Going off about different things, but thanks, Matt, for giving your input on the good old Star Wars Ahsoka series. Appreciate you sitting in and giving us your expertise on how to pronounce Thrawn instead of Thrain. So
you're welcome.
It really helped. It really helped the combo.
You're so welcome.
But yeah, we'll be continuing. If you guys want to kind of keep up with us and be prepared for next week, Matthew, what are we doing next week?
I think we're gonna be doing. We're gonna do a combo sesh. We're gonna do a combo sesh. We're gonna do Ahsoka episode 4. I think we got to keep with the Ahsoka.
Oh yeah.
And then what I'd like for us to do, maybe just throwing this out there.
Throw it out. Throw it out.
I would like for us to do like the Johnny Manziel documentary. Or the Florida Gators documentary. It's all on Netflix. Or Hard Knocks, something like that.
Okay. Well, it's your episode next week, so you get to decide.
What have you watched?
I haven't watched any of them, but I will watch them. You haven't watched
any of them?
Nope.
If I were to pick my favorite one for us to talk about,
yeah,
I would say the Johnny Manziel one. It's kind of funny to talk about. Oh no, you have Netflix on your?
Yeah, I got Netflix.
So it's Untold. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. It's the girlfriend. It's the girlfriend who didn't exist.
Oh, is that Manti Te'o?
Yeah, so that's Manti Te'o. Yep,
okay.
It's like a 3-part episode. Oh, it's a 2-part episode. It's 2 hours long. But let me just tell you something. This is such a funny, weird story that it's like we're in 2023 and we're like, how did this idiot fall for this? And essentially, he got catfished. Okay.
Right.
So I would go and watch it. Untold, the girlfriend who didn't exist, and we're gonna go with Ahsoka. I've got a long list of like sports documentaries and movies that we should watch and talk about because they're really, really funny, and like really interesting. So, and there's just nothing good coming out right now.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot coming out right now. I mean, the majority of things already come out that we did want to see or were kind of excited about. I guess the Marvels is coming out still this year, but
does it? Yeah, not until November.
Yeah, but I mean, right now it's kind of
go see The Nun.
Oh, please no.
I know you would love The Nun.
No,
you would love it.
I saw that they have the Pope's Exorcist on is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
HBO, I forget. They have that on there. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch. I don't know.
Oh no, it is the Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah.
On HBO or on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay. Yeah, I don't like. I don't like that freaking crap at all. Anyways, but yeah, guys, next week, like Matthew said, we'll be doing Ahsoka episode 4, and then the Manti Te'o on Netflix series. So if you want to keep up and be ready for next week, go and watch those, and we can have a good combo, good discussion about that. Join in on the conversation. We would love it, love it. And
it's like Regan's lagging.
Just
sorry, boys and girls, Regan's lagging. We might actually have a special guest too next week.
Really?
He goes by D-Lo.
He
goes by D-Lo. Yeah, Regan knows him. He knows him. He knows him really well.
Not by that name.
His name's Logue Dog. That's what we'll call him. Logue Dog.
Logue Dog.
Yeah. So we might have a Logue Dog on the podcast. Have him talk about the Manti Te'o thing as well. So be on the lookout for it. Regan, you're lagging like freaking crap right now. I can't hear you.
I'm pretty sure you're the one lagging right now. I've been doing it all.
Outro.
No, I got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you like the podcast, leave a comment down below, subscribe, leave us a message, let us know how you feel. Let us know your top 2 like favorite things about Ahsoka so far, and then leave us one thing that we didn't talk about or like we should know about Ahsoka from Rebels or from the Clone Wars. Leave something like that down below so that way we can kind of do research, add to the talking points, stuff like that. Other than that, Regan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I've been able to hear you, and you should be able to hear me just fine.
You're lagging right now.
No,
but
I'm
that's
not.
okay.
I know I'm not.
You're currently lagging.
Oh, then it's something wrong with your internet because you're not lagging on my
You're freezing on YouTube.
Am I?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boys over at the G&G Nation. Regan, would you like to freaking do the outro for us?
Yep. And that's a wrap on another hilarious and unforgettable episode of the Goof and Goober Show. We hope you had as much fun listening as we did recording. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our future goofiness. Join us next time as we continue to explore the weird and wonderful world of laughter and entertainment. Remember, you can always connect with us on social media and share your favorite moments using hashtag Goof and Goober Show. Until next time, stay goofy, stay goober, and keep spreading smiles wherever you go. Thanks for tuning in to the Goof and Goober Show with Matthew and Regan.